Okay, Garmin, start recording. Hey folks, Ray from DCRainmaker.com. I'm here to give a bit of a walkthrough on Garmin's newest action camera, the VIRB Ultra 30, and more importantly how it compares to GoPro's lineup, in particular the Hero 4, Silver, and Black, which are kind of the most current competitors to this. Obviously there's plenty of rumors about what's coming down the line in sometime September, probably for GoPro's newest action cameras, the Hero 5. They've talked about that publicly. We just don't have kind of a public list of specs yet that's been defined for that camera or multiple cameras. So for now we're going to talk about how it compares to the Hero 4 Black and Silver and go from there. So first thing to note is that this is the camera here, and this is it inside of its waterproof case. So if I were to look at the existing GoPro outside of its case here, you'll see that it's virtually identical. Like in terms of the size, they're within about 1 millimeter of each other, this way, and really every which way you can possibly look at them. The only way this is about, again, millimeter bigger is pop out the lens on the VIRB Ultra 30, but frankly that doesn't matter at this point. It's very, very small, so it's not something to worry about there. The next piece you'll notice is that on the back of it here, it has a LCD screen. So the Hero 4 Black does not, whereas the Hero 4 Silver does. So if I grab the Silver right here, you'll see on the back there's this LCD screen once I open up that case. So that's something to keep in mind. So that touch screen there allows you to change settings, allows you to go and preview footage, view the actual, what the camera's seeing. So it's really handy. It's actually why the Silver is my favorite camera in terms of a day-to-day camera, because I can quickly look at that screen. It's super brilliant and it's easy to view. Now when we pop these in the cases, we start to notice a bit more of a difference there. So you'll see here that the VIRB is a bit wider, still a touch bit wider. In terms of depth, it's about the same. It maybe bumps out again 1 millimeter or so, but it is a little bit wider. It's not that big of a deal. One of the things that's really cool though is, so if you look at the Silver, for example, you have this like flexi screen on it, and that allows you to touch it when you're above water, and allows you to kind of talk through it. But when you go down deep enough, this starts to press on the screen and messiness happens. With Garmin's case here, it's a hard plastic shell. Like I could drop through this, scroll against the rock there, and it might not be good for the case, but the camera's still fine. But more importantly, it actually works through the touchscreen works through the case. It's really cool. So you can use your finger here like this and go ahead and control settings underneath on that under layer there, which is pretty impressive. So I can go ahead and here and just swipe to unlock it, and I can use a touchscreen completely by itself inside the case, which is pretty darn cool. The other thing is, once I put a full case on any of the Hero 4 units, the microphone becomes completely crap. You can barely hear anything, so it's not great when you have a full case on. That's why you have the open door shells, but that's, again, it's not waterproof. The VIRB Ultra 30 actually has a microphone right there built into on the waterproof case, and it's really fascinating. So it works really well both above water but also underwater. So I filmed a video 2 weeks ago, and nobody even noticed that I actually filmed it and did some stuff underwater with it, and audio underwater, and it was actually this camera doing it, and it was all this actual microphone. It's pretty cool. I'm really impressed with this. And when you pop it above water, you don't actually have to blow out the 4 holes. I do as a bit of a habit. So I pull it out of the water, I get a big blow, and then it's good to go. It will shake itself out, no problem otherwise, and you can still hear with it even if you have like 2 or 4 of the holes. Technically 6 holes there, but if you have some of the holes blocked, you're still fine. But just if you want the best quality audio, just give that a quick blow. Just blow. We'll leave it at that. So next, let's talk resolution. So I'm going to put some of these down here because bad things are going to happen. So a couple things to keep in mind. The easiest way, if you're familiar with the GoPro lineup, the easiest way to think about it is that the VIRB Ultra 30 is basically the GoPro Hero 4 Black from a spec standpoint, meaning it has that 4K at 30 frames per second and 24 frames per second resolution, has 2.7K, it has 240 frames per second for slow motion video at 720p, 120 at 1080p, so it's basically the exact same specs as the GoPro Hero 4 Black on this from a video standpoint, whereas you flip it over again and it's got the screen, whereas the Black does not. So that's where it's kind of more like a Silver from a structural standpoint. And that's, when you look at the actual resolutions and the pictures and everything like that, this does the same thing, so it's kind of a wash. The next thing that really differentiates these things, and has always differentiated the Garmin lineup, is the GPS and accelerometer in the VIRB Ultra 30. So Garmin's always had a GPS and accelerometer and even a barometer in some of their different action cameras over time, but this sort of is the pinnacle of all those combined. So first thing they did is they brought back the barometer, or the barometric altimeter, in the VIRB. So in the VIRB X and XE series, the last revision of this, they took it out for reasons that made no sense whatsoever, and now it's back, which is great, whereas this doesn't have anything. So that allows me to get altitude on this, ascent to descent, all that kind of fun jazz. It's also got GPS, just like all the past Garmin VIRB action cameras do, so I can get speed, I can get my track of where I've been, all of that cool stuff that you want to see afterwards and overlay on your video. You can do that, and you do that right from the VIRB mobile app. So whether that be the phone app or the VIRB Edit desktop suite, you can do that there as well and get those data overlays right off the camera and right onto your unit itself. The GoPro, meanwhile, doesn't have any of that today. So what about video resolution in terms of quality? From what I've seen, they're pretty darn equal. I've been using them interchangeably for the summer, and I don't really notice any quality issues. I've got some videos that I'll link to up there that you can go ahead and see the exact quality side by side in different scenarios, and I'm just overlaying right now a little bit of quality, kind of a split screen there as well. So far so good there. I think they're in the same ballpark. One thing that I really like though about the new VIRB is the ability for the Pro mode. So GoPro has always had a Pro mode, but it's more about adding additional data to the video files that you can recover later on, as well as setting some maximums and stuff like that on the camera for ISO and things along those lines. Garmin's sort of taken that same concept and kicked up a notch. So you're getting exposure, you're getting ISO, you can do bracketing for photos, you can go ahead and mess with the white balance, all that stuff right on the camera itself for both photos and videos, which is pretty cool. The same thing they're also doing there, in addition to that, they're also allowing you to save those settings. So this is where you start to see Garmin kind of go into the direction of GoPro of catering to that Hollywood and TV and movie crowd a little bit. So obviously Mythbusters has always used GoPros, they've used it for a long, long time. And there's a lot of little subtle things that are in GoPro that make it easy for production companies to use these cameras. And one of the things that you've seen come in the VIRB now is the ability to save and export settings and quickly copy them to cameras. So that way if you had a whole bunch of VIRBs all together in a shot, you can go ahead and copy and make sure the settings are exactly the same across them. I can save different settings types. It's a pretty cool little feature. Like I love it, especially having multiple cameras here. I can just set, DCR settings 1, DCR settings 2, whatever I want, bike settings, run settings, and I'm good to go. Speaking of bike and run, another differentiator there. So the GoPro doesn't attach to anything. It can't connect to any Bluetooth Smart RAM Plus sensors. So if you're out cycling or running, or even car sensors, automotive sensors, this can't do any of that. The Garmin can. They always have in all the different VIRB editions. So I can connect to heart rate straps and cycling power meters and cadence sensors and, again, automotive stuff and marine stuff and on and on and on and on. Tons of different sensor types are supported here out of the box, whereas there's nothing today supported on the GoPro lineup. Now we've got two final features I want to talk about here. One is the new voice commands. So on the VIRB Ultra 30, I can do basically OK Garmin commands. So I can say, OK Garmin, take a photo. And it just took a photo. OK Garmin, start recording. And now it's recording. OK Garmin, stop recording. So it allows me to go ahead and just quickly rattle off commands. I found it awesome when I'm doing like a selfie stick and running a bit. So I did a trip last weekend and I was doing some trail runs and I had a selfie stick and basically the ability to hold it out here and without trying to hit the button at the same time and just be like, okay Garmin, take a photo. Okay Garmin, take a photo. Okay Garmin, and so on. It worked really well. Better than I thought. And it's funny, when I first saw it, I'm like, it's kind of stupid. But now that I've actually used it, it's pretty darn cool. When it comes to wind, though, it doesn't work as well from what I've seen. I tried it while cycling a little bit, in about 20 miles an hour, so 30 kilometers an hour, and it didn't seem to get most of the commands. It seemed to miss most of them. Still, I guess it's better than nothing. I'm guessing if I shouted even louder, it might work. I'll go ahead and put a video dedicated just to OK Garmin up there. So next, there's two wireless features that are worthwhile talking about. First is the ability to connect to Wi-Fi networks. And I know you're saying, oh, but GoPro's done that forever. And they have, and so has Garmin. The ability to connect to your Wi-Fi phone, or have, more importantly, your phone connect to this. But what's different about the VIRB is it can connect to your Wi-Fi networks in your house. Sony's Action Cam can actually do that. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, two reasons. One, say you wanted to set up a Wi-Fi network and have a whole crap ton of cameras at once. You could do that. You could set up a Wi-Fi hotspot and have all the cameras connect to that at one point and be able to go do stuff with that and connect to them individually. Second, and more importantly, is ability to live stream. So you have two options for live streaming. One is to go ahead and connect to your mobile phone and live stream using that data connection, right to YouTube, by the way. Or two, to go ahead and connect to a Wi-Fi network that you already have set up, a hotspot or a house or office or whatever you want, and stream out that way. And that's pretty darn cool. Again, this can't do that. It can only connect to your phone. So it's a small difference, but it means a lot if you're trying to control which data package or which data usage or connection you're going ahead and using. Finally, on battery life, the VIRB Ultra 30 goes in and hits about 2 hours of battery life at 1080p mode, about an hour from what I've seen in 4K resolution, which is about the same as the GoPro Hero 4 Black and Silver. So it's sort of in that same ballpark. We haven't really seen advances in batteries. It's kind of all been about the same. You know, I think it's more about cramming more crap into that battery than it is about expanding on beyond that battery size. You can of course go ahead and just simply plug it in though and keep it plugged into a battery pack, a USB battery pack. Buy one for like 20 to 40 bucks off of Amazon and you're good to go for hours and hours and hours on end. Okay, so that's just a bit of an overview of the different cameras here. Note that both cameras use a GoPro standard mount, so you can use all your existing accessories, no problems. Garmin does have some kind of their own unique mounts, but quite honestly, not going to use them. You're just going to use the GoPro ones because those are ubiquitous across the board and all sorts of cool accessories. So go ahead and whack that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. That'll make sure you're kept up to date on all the latest sports technology goodness. September's got a super busy month, and so you don't want to be kind of left out of the loop on that stuff. I release these videos the second the embargoes lift. So in the case of today, you saw these videos the split second that embargo lifted, so you don't want to be left behind. With that, thanks for watching.